What did a crush do that made you instantly lose interest in him/her? She asked me if I wanted to go to a concert with her, then she wanted me to pay for both tickets that I knew she got for free. Promptly laughed at her and told her she can duck off with some other idiot. It's funny how fast the ugliness on the inside can overcome anything good on the outside. She did me a favor that day. He asked me to help him hook up with my best friend. Oh, that hurts. What kind of a guy you like? Your friend Alex. He is perfect. Yeah, he is. He thinks we look great together. Is he single? Yeah, but I don't see how this. I love him. Pay the bill. We were out drinking. He got drunk and started fighting a guy that he thought had been harassing me. The guy said he didn't harass me. I said he didn't harass me. My crush still tried to defend me. Never lost interest faster. I worked up the courage to ask this girl to go on a date. She said yes. On the date, she proceeded to spend the whole time gossiping about anyone and everyone she could talk bad about. I still remember the moment it clicked that she was just super shallow and mean. It's a bit different, but I had a moment when I was younger, maybe 15 or so, when I realized that my mom was like this. Anytime she could talk shit about someone she would, and no one would be safe. It would be especially bad at family dinners, almost like her only topic of conversation was talking bad about someone. This was when I realized that I'd probably be reducing contact with her, once I'd moved out. Was crushing on this girl for ducking months, and it turns out at her last apartment she stole $1,500 for coke and abruptly ended the lease, giving her 2 roommates barely any time at all to find new housing, one of which had to move back in with their abusive mother. Dodged a bullet. He tossed an empty drink bottle onto a random lawn as we walked down the street. Here's a light-hearted one. I developed my first crush when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. This was right around the time when Pokemon were first becoming really popular, so naturally I was obsessed with them. I had the cards, the Game Boy games, etc. One day I overheard the girl I had a crush on talking to her friends at recess about how weird Pokemon were, and thus in a flash a young love was extinguished. Fast forward about 22 years and my wife also doesn't like Pokemon, because life is strange. She was going to a party and I said you seem pretty unenthusiastic about going. She replied with don't use big words. Unenthusiastic. 14 letters. She was right, man, that's not a small word. Very long word, he should have rather used blast instead. Phlegmatic. Acting like a complete dickhead, and when I addressed it he said I know I'm an asshole, but I'm really sexy like. Okay, suddenly, you're really not sexy at all. Lol sounds like something I'd say to my GF ironically for a cheap laugh. If only he was being ironic, alas, he was not. Threw rocks at a cat because she thought it was funny. That's no way to show appreciation to a funny cat. This guy that I'd been talking to for a while on Tinder who I thought was cool cute but he never seemed down to meet up. One time he randomly messaged me to say he'd gone over to someone's place and they'd had sex 3 times. I think he was trying to make me jealous but it just made me feel a bit gross. I had similar. I had known this guy for a few weeks and finally had a date at his to cook me dinner. Texted him a couple days before to say hi, and asked him how his day was. He told me it was great because he had morning sex, then a good day at work, then a date sex with a totally different person. On the one hand, thanks for making it easy for me to dump you, and on the other hand, maybe work on not being a 100% asshole. He was mean to his mom. Demanded money from her so we could go out, in front of me, and then called his grandma to get some more money so we could go out. So uncomfortable. Edit. Let me add more details. We were both around 2122. I met this person, drove from the Midwest to Dallas with him, and was essentially stuck there for 2 days before my train was scheduled to leave. This behavior was not acceptable at all, and I felt uncomfortable the entire time. I hope he wasn't more than 15. We were both like 21. Cringe. Good God. We were 5, had planned to marry when we got older with a pancake cake and everything. I was invited to his birthday party and he and his friend was climbing a tree with him being higher up. Suddenly he pees down on his friend. We never got married. A pancake wedding cake. Brilliant. I wish I had read this before I got married. Told me she has a crush on my brother. I'm sorry, Luigi. It just wasn't meant to be. Your princess is in another castle. Your tower belongs in another princess. It was a teenage crush. He had multiple girlfriends, who didn't know about each other. Disloyalty is not cool. Not something that she did, but her breath smelled like shit, literally like shit. My brother from another mother had this problem. He couldn't understand why girls weren't interested in him. Never took hygiene seriously until his mid-20s. Because he never brushed his teeth, he developed an abscessed tooth and let it fester. Customers started complaining and he was sent home from work until he got it fixed. The entire time I drove him to the dentist, I made him stick his head out the open window. It smelled terrible. Dentist gave him a good talking to about how his bad teeth could affect his heart. Soon after, he started showering and brushing his teeth every day. He didn't shower or brush his teeth and he expected women to be like, ooh, that's what I like. Based on how many IDA posts I see from women who ask, am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to have basic hygiene? How do I ask him to brush his teeth and wipe his ass daily without hurting his feelings? You would be shocked as to how much women will tolerate. Not my crush, but someone who had a crush on me, or so I was told. She asked for my birthday, and I told her. She then calculated that I was younger than her by a week or so and straight up said to me I did have a crush on a guy, but then I found out he was younger than me, so now there's not crush, damn dude. Lol. What a dumb reason. My husband is 8 months younger than me, but born the same year. I love making cradle robbing jokes and telling him to respect his elders. He loves making old lady jokes. It's stupid, but it's fun to us. My fiancée is a few months older than me, her sister is older than her husband, and their mom is older than their dad. There are many jokes made about the women in the family going after younger men. Found out she was a cousin. We were in class together and it was all a pure coincidence. Neither of us had any idea until a family member casually mentioned to me, doesn't her name go to your school? Well, crap. I grew up in a small town and one of my friends was related to everybody. In middle school he told his mother about the new girl he was seeing and she had to break the news to him that he was dating his second cousin. Same, grew up in a small town and came from a big family. Any teen someone asked me out, I asked what their mom's maiden name was as well as their grandmother's because there was like a 95% chance we were related. I have roughly 200 plus first and second cousins. Dating was a ducking shit show to say the least. Ducking shit show, that's how you ended up with so many cousins in the first place. This is a serious response. He threatened to kill me and himself if I broke up with him. We were alone in the house and he was having some sort of episode where he spaced out, became robotic, and dissociated. This made him act very slow and lethargic. He had mental issues. I grabbed my stuff and ran. Never saw him again, but I know he was hospitalized. I'm married now and he hasn't contacted me since. I actually hope he's doing better. Hopefully your ex has gotten the help he needs and really happy that you have gotten out of it and really happy now. Found out he was a serial cheater and cheated on his exes with strippers and masseuses. Edit, just to clarify, he had sex with them. Some people in the comments didn't quite get it. I see we've dated the same man. I had a crush on a guy in 5th grade. He found out about my crush and made a really hateful nickname for me and teased me about my body. Got all of his friends to tease me too. Realizing he was a garbage person set me straight pretty quickly. She referred to Mexicans as wetbacks. I look white. What she didn't know is that I'm part Mexican. Racism of any kind towards anyone is an instant turnoff. Edit, changed wetbacks to wetbacks and added an important detail. I live in a small town that is 70% Mexican. I also coach youth soccer. I once coached some 10 and under kids. There were maybe 3 white kids out of 15 on the team. I usually let the team decide their mascot. These kids wanted to be called the Beaners. I refused. Also tried to use it as a teaching moment, but I felt like I was telling African Americans they couldn't use the N-word. Most Mexican people I know, in Mexican, think the term Beaner is pretty funny. Racism is not a joke obviously, but the slur being based on a food we all love makes it funny. My dad told me what that word meant many years ago and he laughed when he said it. Said some guy T-boned his car after running a red light, called him a beaner. Said it's because we really like frijoles. Am Mexican, never understood the beaner slur. I mean, sure, I love beans. But I'll be damned if I spend one day without eating a corn tortilla. So, maybe, the children of the corn? Edit, wow. First gold. Thanks, stranger. He wants you, too, Malachi.